Okay, guys, welcome back. We are going to talk about uh, something new in JavaScript today. I'm going to go over a few new concepts, just kind of really quick, easy ones, um, and hopefully you'll enjoy it. So we're going to use an algorithm. It's a bit simpler and more straightforward. So we're going to use a lot of concepts to introduce it and talk about it. But the how to do the function is actually pretty straightforward once we understand some of these. So the prompt is we're given an array of arrays, and the first item of each of the subarrays is going to be either add or find. And if it's add, we're going to perform one action, and if it's find, we're going to perform another. Now, when we're writing this, we're going to assume that the data is clean and we're not going to have any errors. If we didn't assume, we would need to say if equals 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 add, or else if equals 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 find, right? But because we're assuming it's clean, we only need to do if this option, else do the other thing, right? We don't need to specify. And we'll get more into that later on, to just so you're clear on that. So you can see right here, dot add. So what we're going to do in those instances is we're going to be adding them to a storage array, like an array where we're going to store them. And then when it comes up to the find, we're going to find the instances that match with this. So go ahead and get started. So function find items are let answer, and this will be our return value. And this is going to be our storage, and then for item of R. All right, so let's go ahead and talk about the new thing that we just introduced. So you may normally see something like this. I is less than R length. I plus plus. When you have an iterable object that you're putting into a for loop, like an array, a string, something like that, you can use this for of or for in syntax. Let's go ahead and take a look at MDN's documentation of this. So iterable objects, string arrays or array-like objects, and list some other things, maps and sets, right? So for the for of, it'll go through each of the items in the array. In the string, it's going to go through each character in the string. And what element in this case refers to, in our case, we specified it as item. It refers to the actual value at that point. If we did something like in, it's no longer going to refer to the value. It's going to refer to the index of that item. So array 1 brackets 1 or brackets 0 is A. So it's grabbing the 0. Whereas in of array 1 brackets 0 is A and it's grabbing the A. So of grabs the value, in grabs the index. And it'll go through all of it on its own. So handy because most of the times when you're using for, obviously you're going through an iterable object. This is going to go through the entire one. So if you don't need to go through the entirety of an array, you don't want to necessarily do something like this. But yeah, so let's see. So now that we're in here, for item 0 equals add. Let's go ahead and store.push item 1. So this is pretty straightforward. If this is equal to add, or this, etc., then we are going to grab this, or this, or this, or this, and we're going to push it into this other array. Okay, if it's not add, that means it's going to be find, right? We're not going to do else if, because we know that it's got to be find otherwise, so we don't need to check a second condition. So let's talk about the new concept that we're going to do here. And you're going to have to bear with me while I type this out so I can go over it. Item 1. Okay, so you guys may know what regex expressions are. Looks like this. We're using this. So a regular expression, or a regex, is something to use to test strings for matches, or to test if a string has a certain string of characters. And the test will return true and false, and the match returns the objects themselves. And there's a few others here: replace, search, split, etc. But the test and the match are kind of the two major ones to use. So here, what we're doing is we're creating a regular expression based off of what is right here. The reason we're doing it this way rather than this way is because we can't stick a variable in between the two forward slashes. That's just going to search for, if we put slashes in front of these like this, what it's going to search for is not the content of item, brackets 1. It's going to search for item brackets 1, the actual value itself, right? So what it would search for is this, right? That's not what we want. So to create a regular expression out of a variable, we got to put it in something like this. Now this isn't good enough yet, because a regular expression is going to go ahead and find it anywhere in the string, which means that we're going to get a true for this and this when we need to A. But the parameters in the beginning said that where a partial string is denoting a partial name to the search application, or it must return the number of contacts starting with the partial. So when it says find, it has to start with this. So that's how we get around that. Or how we get around that is with this at the beginning. When you put this at the beginning of a regular expression, what it does is it tells JavaScript, okay, I'm going to give you a regular expression, but you can only search the beginning of the string for that match. You can't search anywhere else. So if it does, so now we've got it. So now we need to test our array for matches to this. So again, we've got a whole bunch of stuff here. Filter X test X length. Okay, so again, let's go step by step here. So the innermost function here is the dot filter, working off the store. So at this point, when we get to our first find, store has Edward, Ed, Eddie, and Ed in it. And what we're doing now is accessing that, filtering out and then we're entering into the filter function. And the filter is going to take a parameter, which is the item in the index, or item in the array, and it's going to test if that item has this. or has the regular expression. So regular expression dot test the parameter, which in this case is the element in the array. If it does, it's going to kick back true, and filter takes as a return value a true and false. So the returns need to be truthy or falsy. And since this is going to kick back as true for these, and these, on the first one, it's going to keep all of them. And then when it gets to the second one, EDW, it's going to return true for this and this. It's going to return false for this and this. So it's going to keep these. So now we temporarily have a new array constructed out of this. Now that temporary array that we have, we're going to grab the length, which for the first one is 3. For the second go, it's 2. And then for the third one, we've got none, so it's 0. So we've got that, and then we push it into answers after it's done. So we should be able to return answers. So let's go ahead and test this. Console.log find items. And copy and paste this. Oh, I forgot to capitalize this, huh? What did we do wrong there? Okay. Did I add too many? I didn't add too many parentheses here, huh? Where's the unexpected parentheses? It's not there. It's not there. It's not there. Interesting. On the issue, there were 2 issues. This was a 4, and I had answers there. So go ahead and change that. It's going to be correct. And go ahead and try that again. And there we go. We got the right answer. The error message kicked back line 11, so that's how I knew to search there. And before that, I already found out that I had misspelled that. So I got to check your code, make sure it's good. Luckily here, we were able to find the solution, but I hope the video was informative nonetheless, in spite of my bad syntax. We went over a few new things, the for of, the regular expression constructor, and using that, and right here. So as always, I hope you enjoyed the vid, and if you want to see stuff, let me know.